Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your September reading. This is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot, and we are going to be doing a love reading for September. It is not a typical love reading. It is a self-love reading this month. We're going to be asking Spirit a series of questions to get some guidance on how you can focus your thinking, your action, your energies this month to deepen your connection with Spirit and to love yourself more. There are many other tarot readers on YouTube that are going to be doing different types of love readings for September. And so if you're looking for something that's more focused on divine masculine, divine feminine, twin souls, twin flames, romantic love, I encourage you to go and check with some of those other readers' posts for September for love readings. This one, if you're interested, is going to focus on how to love yourself better, how to fit into your life better, how to enjoy life better, and how to deepen your connection with the divine. I have a series of questions and I have a series of decks that we'll be using. It is a general reading, so it will not resonate with all of you, but for those of you that it does resonate with, I would love to hear your feedback in the comment section. We're going to start with the Mythic Tarot. This is a deck that's quite old. I think I've had it 30 plus years, but I think you can get the more recent edition on Amazon. We will work with the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. We will work with the Illuminated Tarot, which is an interesting set. I think you may be able to find on Amazon. I picked it up, I think, at Anthropology. It is by Caitlin Keegan. It is 52 cards, so it takes the major arcana of the standard tarot and overlays them into the suits. So I was trying to find an example for you, and I'm not going to find one quickly, I think, but it's only 52 cards. So we'll be looking at the book to see where there's some overlap, how to properly interpret these ones. We have the Thoth Tarot. This is the Aleister Crowley Golden Dawn version of tarot. It has slightly different meanings as well, and we will be consulting where the differences are there. Then we have the Making Magic cards we've used before for our last messages, and we also have the always blanking on the name here, the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrin Wells Stein. This is our oracle deck for today. We'll be pulling from there as well. So we're going to start first, Scorpio, with 3 cards. 3 cards from Spirit for our first 3 questions. And if we don't have a third jumper, then we will take from the bottom after we shuffle some more. Our first 3 cards coming from the Mythic Tarot. One more. All right. Interesting. Someone else got the 6 of Wands as well. So our first 3 questions to focus our September reading for Scorpio. We have the first question: what does Scorpio need to focus on this month? And we have a Queen. The Queen of Cups. That deeper emotional knowing and connection. Getting in touch with the deeper emotional parts of yourself, Scorpio. The compassion for others and for yourself. In the second question's position, what does Scorpio's subconscious want to say to him or her that is being ignored? We have the Star and the imagery here, that there is hope for you, that there is healing that is possible. And the third question: how can Scorpio be more true to themselves in September? We have the 6 of Wands, which is about acknowledging that you have had victories. So, Scorpio, we have these three. Oh, where did you come from? We have also the Knight of Cups that apparently jumped out and I didn't even see him sitting over there. So let's put these two together as our first, the King and the Queen, the masculine and the feminine qualities. I think that's where Spirit wants me to put this card. What do you, Scorpio, need to focus on this month? Love. Connection. This is meant to be a reading about how to love yourself more, right? That's the overall question we're asking Spirit. How does Scorpio love themselves more? What do they need to work on? What do they need to do in September to embrace themselves more? And I see the answer here being connection. You need to focus on compassion, deep love, not just physical love, not just romantic love, but love as a larger concept. Being love, not being in love, not loving, being love, Scorpio. What is it that you are able to give in this world? Who are you able to embrace? How? By giving to others. Can you give more to yourself? How can you amp up your water quality, right? Because you are a water sign. And love. Be love in this world. It's interesting. Where are you giving in September of yourself in a loving way? Family, friends, community. This is really the energy that I'm sensing there. That's the answer. What do you need to focus on? It's your connection to love. It's your ability to embody love and to share it, right? The second question, what does Scorpio's subconscious want to say to him or her that is being ignored? And we have the Star. And in this deck, we have the Star represented by Pandora, right? Pandora opening the box, letting everything out. There's the Star. It's not all bad, what has been released. So what is your subconscious wanting you to pay attention to that you're not making room for right now? Is it faith? Is it this sense of occasional feeling of faithlessness, feeling like, what is the point? Feeling hopeless. Is that something that comes to you, Scorpio, and then you just shove it down and you don't look at it and you don't think about it and you don't feel your way through it? You're a water sign. You may not be all, swimming in the sea of emotion all the time like Pisces, but you are water. You are fluid, you are flowing. You have to feel what you're feeling. Your subconscious is not going to let you stuff it away. It wants you to feel hope. And on those days when you feel hopeless, when you feel like it is just impossible, you need to sit with that feeling. You need to explore it. That's what I'm hearing for you. For September, you need to make some time to think about where you're feeling hopeless and to celebrate when you do feel that hope and that rejuvenating spring of energy come to you. Note what makes you feel that way. Third question, how can Scorpio be more true to themselves in September? We have the Six of Wands. Achievements, acknowledging your successes, acknowledging your victories. That's Jason, the Golden Fleece, if I remember my myths properly. So you can be more true to yourself, Scorpio, by acknowledging that you have victories, Don't sweep them under the carpet. Don't ignore them. Don't just sort of downplay where you have been victorious, right? Where have you been able to connect and feel this unconditional love, this compassion? Where in your life have you felt this compassion, this hope successfully? That's sort of what I'm seeing here, that Spirit wants Scorpio to start the month thinking about. We have another set of 3 questions. I'm going to use the Thoth Tarot for these ones. We'll shuffle 3 times, and if there aren't 3 cards jumping out, then we'll take them from the top. And our next questions are, what does Spirit need from Scorpio in September? What should Scorpio avoid in September? And what should Scorpio be grateful for in September? All right, I think that's 3. I'm not taking a 4th this time. Thank you, Spirit. So, what does Spirit need from you in September? It's the one that was on the bottom originally when I showed you when we started. It's the 6 of Swords. And in the Thoth deck, this is labeled Science. So the 6 of Swords is about moving on, letting it go. If you've been fighting a battle and it is clearly a waste of time, stepping on, moving on, right? The standard Rider-Waite imagery is the person in the boat with all the swords and, rowing away. But we will look at what, if there is any, with the Thoth, they have, sort of the indications of the card. They have the light side, the shadow side, the objectives. For your second question, what should Scorpio avoid in September? We have the Death card, right? So letting things go again, walking away. There's a lot of that. Interesting. Because that's what they need from you. And it's what you're meant to be avoiding. So we'll have to see. Maybe there's a certain discernment that needs to be made between what you walk away from and what you don't. The third card, what should Scorpio be grateful for in September? And we have the Prince of Discs. All right. So let's look those up. Let's just get a little bit more guidance here on these 3. Put those up here. For the Thoth deck, for the 6 of Swords, this is seeking truth. Again, this is about what Spirit needs from you, Scorpio, during September. Seek truth. Start looking for new horizons and new knowledge, and digging deeper into the secrets of the world. Finding a balance between spirit and nature. The light side here is objective knowledge and justice and understanding, comprehending views of others. And the shadow side is doubt and prejudice and rejecting spiritual things. So you need to think whole. You need to achieve tangible results with invisible means. And I think this is just fabulous, because what Spirit is saying to you is unconditional love, generosity, helping, compassion. What Spirit needs is for you to get beyond prejudice that might be holding you back from helping. It's saying, use this intangible means, this compassion, this being love, to achieve actual physical manifestations in the world, to help and heal others. It's beautiful. So, let's look now. This is a very interesting pull for me, this card, the Death card, because this is meant to be answering the question, what do you need to leave behind? What do you need to avoid? I'm sorry. What is Scorpio meant to avoid in September? And I'm curious to see how this reads. So the Thoth Tarot looks at death as, the light aspect of it is that you're making room for new things, and the shadow aspect is a fear of death. Its quality is inner understanding and consistency, and its purpose is transformation. I feel like the intent here in Spirit bringing us this card to address what you are meant to avoid. Yeah, okay. So what we're highlighting here is you're being asked to step up, right? You're being asked to be love and to use that quality of being able to be compassionate and unconditionally love as a tool to create and manifest something physical that helps. And this card speaks to transformation, but what Spirit is saying is you don't need to go out and reinvent anything. You don't need to go out and buy things or move or make dramatic changes. You don't need to do any of that. In fact, Spirit wants you to avoid that. Everything you need is in you. And any sort of dramatic change is just going to be a distraction from the work you need to do, Scorpio, in September. So I think that actually makes sense now. I see it. I do. You don't need to make any major changes. You don't need to make any significant shifts. You have what you need. And again, this is just going to be you avoiding the work that you need to do. So Spirit's saying, don't. Just be, right? This third card, what should Scorpio be grateful for in September? It's a Prince of Discs. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it to focus. Prince of Discs. And I'm just going to see what we have for shadow and light guidance here. What are you meant to be grateful for? So this card speaks to qualities of diligence, your heightened abilities of concentration and endurance. It's meant to have a purpose of bringing stability, right? Through your work, your efforts, and your successes. Again, it's mentioning your past successes. It's going to bring you some reliable, calm, intentional efforts in the world. And the shadow side is being stubborn or indifferent or stagnating. Pragmatic people who only look at the nature of people when working and measuring things. That's the quality it's bringing. So what is Spirit saying here? Spirit is saying you should be grateful for these qualities in yourself, right? You should be grateful. I don't know why it won't focus. You should be grateful for your pragmatic side because it's going to give you a good structure and support as you're learning how to turn being love into an actual physical manifestation of aid to those around you. It's kind of nice. So far, so good, Scorpio. Let's look now at what lessons you need to work on this month. And we're going to use the Illuminated Tarot for that. We're going to just shuffle 3 times. We're looking for 2 cards. If none are jumping out, my intention is to take the top and bottom. If 1 jumps out, we'll take the bottom. And if 2 jump out, we'll take both of them. Just going to do, here we go. I guess we have 2. All right, so what is our lesson? Again, we're going to use the book here a little bit because this is only a 52 card deck. It's a little different than your standard tarot. This is our first one. There's a 3 of diamonds. Let's see, there's people on there. 3 of diamonds, which, is connection, community, standardly. And then the Ace of diamonds, which I think also is the World card, if I'm looking at that properly. So let me just check them. We've got 2 diamonds. The diamonds here are swords, I believe. So our 3 of diamonds is craftsmanship, successful collaboration, and admiration. And our Ace is the World card, right, which is about peace, travel, and open-mindedness. So your lesson for September, Scorpio, is about the value in collaborating and the global nature of your mission. The lesson really is about being love and finding a way to take the intangible quality of being love, being compassionate, and turn it into a physical manifestation of a way that helps the world, right? And it seems that working with others is part of that. So this, what is your lesson for September, Scorpio, is just an extension of what the cards are already telling us, which is this this mission that's being handed to you by Spirit of really getting in touch with the compassionate side, the intangible quality of being love and healing the world through your efforts by taking the emotional and making it a physical thing. And this is just highlighting for you the fact that it's this global, it has a global reach, right? Our next question. How can There's another question here, and I think I might have missed it in the last reading. Okay. Well, anyway. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm back. I was just a little confused for a minute. Our next question is, what needs to be let go of to love yourself more? And we're going to use the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit cards for that. I'm just going to shuffle 3 times, and then we'll take the one off the bottom. Swan. So what needs to be let go so that Scorpio can love themselves more? All right. This is the alchemical symbol of water, and I'm going to just look up this meaning. Find the swan. So the swan's energy is about effortless creativity, elegant power. When this energy is in balance, it provides an infinite creative power for you. But when it's out of balance, you can be agitated, you can lack vision, you can be kind of, touchy, snippy. And so what do you need to let go in order to love yourself more? I think it's that sense of trying to create, not being open to spirit guiding your hand, but sort of trying to force it. It's a really big, I'm going to go back to this because this is, it's the little king that was hiding on me. This is a really big ask of spirit, right? You are a compassionate person, absolutely. But what spirit is asking you to do is take it to the next level. And not only that, not only be love, but then transmute that intangible quality into a tangible result that helps others, that heals the world. That's a really big job, right? And if you come at it the way you have always done with all of the things in your life that you've succeeded at, making a plan, being really stable and organized and diligent and proceeding according to plan, very non-emotionally, you're not going to get there, I don't think. So I think what Spirit is saying you need to let go of during September in order to succeed here is this trying to too methodically be creative. You need to just open that channel and let it come through you. Let Spirit work through you, and then this will be a breeze, right? And the way that happens is for you to spend some time alone and just write. Well, what do I write? It doesn't matter. You sit down with paper and pencil or pen or whatever, computer, keyboard, and you start and you just let it flow out. And then you read back through it later and you find those nuggets of wisdom and creative insight that give you the ideas you need to get where you need to go. That's what I see here. That's what I'm sensing for you, Scorpio, from Spirit there. So how best can Scorpio support him or herself in September? And I'm going to use one of these little oracle cards for this, from the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrin Weltstein. Just shuffle 3 times. If nothing jumps out, we will take the bottom. We have a jumper. Very well. How do you best support yourself, Scorpio, during September? We have the Gardener. Looks like her body is a building. The Gardener. Wake up. See the detail? Or read the details from the book for you. The Gardener, number 27. Non-judgment, acceptance, and self-compassion. So when you're working on this compassion for everyone else, spare some for yourself, Scorpio, it would appear. Standing proud in a lush green garden, a woman holds a growing bulb in her arms. 2 small houses spring from the plant, and her skirt is transformed into a house. Sorry, it's not focusing better. She is the gardener of her soul. The caretaker of her home. Her feelings are the flowers of her garden. By taking care of herself, she keeps growing stronger. But sometimes uninvited guests invade the garden, intruders like jealousy or shame. If we recognize these as neither good nor bad, but something to be investigated and accepted, we treat ourselves with compassion and keep blooming. Interesting. It's about compassion. Self-compassion, that's how you support yourself. When you start to doubt, when you start to feel ashamed or jealous of others, not to instantly go to, that is bad, right? Not to judge, not to shut down, but just to be inquisitive and to be compassionate toward yourself. I'm sorry I can't get this to focus any better, but interesting guidance. So you've got quite a month ahead of you, Scorpio. You've got a pretty big mission here landing on you from Spirit. But the guidance is definitely to remember that you have many successes and you have a good structure here of practical approaching to problems. You need to be aware that you shouldn't try to overcomplicate it, because that's just a mechanism by which you hide away. If you should start to feel your hope wavering, you need to sit with that feeling and feel it, not ignore it, right? You need to call on others, perhaps. Don't assume you have to do this alone. There's a whole world out there, and there are people to collaborate with in your mission. It's quite nice. I'd be curious to see how your month goes and how this whole experience helps you to deepen, your connection with Spirit. We're going to pull just one more, some Spirit guidance, one last card of guidance for Scorpio for the month of September, please, Spirit. I'll do 3 and pull off the bottom. Prosperity. That's nice. Prosperity. I don't know why it's not focusing all of a sudden. A prosperous business with riches and success. That is wonderful. I would... What I'm hearing is don't let that distract you, okay? You are in a position where you're probably going to have a pretty good month financially, and it could be very easy to let that become this, right? And distract yourself from the deeper soul mission of the month. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a nice fat bank account while you're out there saving the world. I wish you a wonderful September, Scorpio. I hope that you will like, share, subscribe if this video has been useful for you. And I hope we'll see you for the weeklies, over on the Facebook page for the dailies, and next month. Blessings.